I actually had a teacher named Mr. Leffelbein who died first year into art school, I think, kind of young. He was actually the first guy that taught me a lot of hard life lessons. He had a real grim outlook, and I love that about him. One day he told me, like, you know, you better really enjoy your own company, because one day you're going to be alone. Anyway, everybody's alone one day. One day, even when you die, if you have people around you, you're still alone. You still do that alone. So you got to be at peace with yourself. And I think that was the first time I was able to get over this girl dumping me. My first relationship, this girl dumped me, and that's when I realized, hey, you know what? I really should maybe just enjoy my own company.
No, this song is about living inside the dream and finding out that one day it's dead and you're in it. And quite possibly one day that'll happen to all of you.
Hey, I'm Gerard Way from My Chemical Romance, and this is the documentary podcast from BBC Radio 1.
It was at this stage in his life that Gerard very nearly became a successful cartoonist and was in talks with the Cartoon Network to produce a series called The Breakfast Monkey.
He doesn't even really look like a monkey. That was the best part. He kind of looked like a cross between like a Japanese cartoon version of a monkey and the Pillsbury Doughboy. And I always envisioned him speaking kind of in a Scandinavian accent like Bjork.
It's a bit like Pinocchio.
And he had this superpower called breakfast magic, and he could just make breakfast appear out of thin air. His friends were a Spanish wrestler and a kid that was so sugar damaged that he was actually crazy, and he rode a flying goldfish, and these were his friends. I never got made. I knew that art was almost like a diversion. I was good at it, but I didn't have the heart that it takes to succeed at it.
And then, in 2001, something happened that changed everything forever. The birth of our superhero came from a global disaster that shook America to its very core.
We have unconfirmed reports this morning that a plane has crashed into one of the towers of the World Trade Center.
We looked out at it, all of a sudden, boom.
Right now, you got people running up the street.
September 11th, the year 2001, a day unlike any other in the long course of American history. A terrorist...
I saw the towers go down one by one, and I was very close to that across the bay. And I was surrounded by about 300 or so family and or co-workers of people that were in that building, and I felt to an extent that I didn't have a right to feel as upset as them because I didn't know anybody in there, but I felt for them, and they were so upset. I guess that was when I developed a strong sense of empathy, which I have to this day. What I'd felt for them was so intense that it took me a good year to deal with that. I wanted to actually do something I felt was important, and I just thought it was a real good time to call up some people and say, hey, you know, are you pretty much dissatisfied with the way your life is going? Because I'm really dissatisfied. I'm in my early 20s. I really don't like the way my life's going. I feel kind of screwed, and I want to fix it. And I feel like that I'm special, and I feel like you're special, and we could show the world something really special. And that was kind of my attitude about it.
And with that, Gerard began summoning together his fantastic fivesome. Guitarist Ray Toro.
I think I was in my fourth year of college at the time. I was working for a watch company called Movado. You know, Gerard gave me a call, and I hadn't talked to him in a while.
Gerard's brother, Mikey Way.
Oh, man, I was working at a Barnes & Noble. It was just a bookstore, and I thought at the time, I was like, I'm going to be stuck in retail hell forever. That's what I thought.
That retail hell led to the naming of the band. As Mikey was stacking books in Barnes & Noble, he saw the title of an Irving Welsh book, Ecstasy, 3 Tales of Chemical Romance, and the name of the band was born, Ray.
All of us, I think, were kind of at that point where, you know, we were all looking for where are our lives going and what are we going to be.
Eyeball Records founder and friend, Alex.
I thought they were incredible. I was really happy because all the bands that all of them were in beforehand were terrible. So they really were. And then all of a sudden they came together and they got this.
Gerard.
I remember it very vividly. Alex had a really good feeling about us, and he said, look, I know this guy, he's real good, let me just throw you in the studio and see what you guys do, because you guys have never recorded a song. You guys are playing gigs, but let's get something on tape or whatever. And went to do Vampires, and it was still to this day like the most magical, incredible recording experience I've ever been a part of, next to really making the Black Parade. But nothing beats your first time on a mic. There was an energy. It wasn't that I was nervous or anything. There was just this energy. This storm was building outside. Everybody had tracked the instruments, and it was sounding incredible, you know? And I was very inspired, and I was outside with Alex, and he just clocked me in the face.
He was getting really hard on himself, and you could tell he was really losing it. So I helped him focus, and I punched him real good in the jaw. That's what he wanted. I asked him, I warned him. He wanted it, so it helped him focus.
And it worked, because I nailed it right away. We listened to that thing the whole way home at max volume in the van, over and over on repeat, everybody. And we just were blown away about how incredible the sound was.
At this stage, the newly formed My Chemical Romance decided they needed more guitar. Step forward, another broken man looking for direction, Frank Iero.
I was at like the first 11 My Chemical Romance shows, but not in the band. If they didn't ask me to join, I would have probably asked them to be like their roadie. As soon as I joined, we were recording a record. I had to write parts in the van outside while they were recording because I hadn't written all my parts yet. Right from there, we just went on tour.
Gerard.
There was a signing frenzy. All these major labels were like, all right, well, New Jersey's like the next Seattle, you know? So they all like converged. We were getting calls at our practice space before we'd even recorded. We were like, this is weird. It didn't feel right. We asked the labels to actually just leave us alone until we were ready, if that ever even happened.
It did happen. By their second album, 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge, they were signed to Reprise Records, part of Warner's, and their mission to take on the world took off once and for all. Fame and success beckoned to these once shy and awkward New Jersey kids.
The Lockup, in session tonight.
From one of the biggest bands of 2004. It will be My Chemical Romance.
And I'm really happy to go over now to Maida Vale, where we should find My Chemical Romance. Good morning.
Good morning.
Mike and Gerard from My Chemical Romance. Thanks for dropping by. What's up?
No problem. We're just hanging out.
Drinking coffee.
Hanging out with you.
But no superhero rise to stardom comes without upset. Along the way, Gerard and Mikey's much-beloved grandmother died. He wrote Helena in her memory. Then, immediately after recording the second album, they got rid of their original drummer, Matt, in mysterious and still unexplained circumstances. Gerard.
It's that kind of thing that there's a lot that doesn't need to be said about it.
They were a man down, but they had just the guy to pick up his drumsticks. Bob Breyer, sound guy with fellow rockers The Used and fan of My Chemical Romance.
I got the call when I was on tour, and I left the next day. I left tour, got in the van, and we practiced for a day, and then shot the Not Okay video the next day.
But by this time, Gerard was feeling the pressure and had to battle the triple-headed monster of depression, alcohol, and drugs.
It was just a brief period where I got out of control. But, I'm an alcoholic, and I've been clean almost 3 years now, so that feels great, you know. And I'm trying to think of the lows. The lows were just a severe depression and a feeling of helplessness, which is what drugs and alcohol do to you. You know, there was cocaine, pills, booze. If not for the band, I don't actually know if I would have had a purpose or a reason to get clean or stay clean and continue to live. It's the one thing that gave me a sense of importance or a sense of duty in a lot of ways, actually. Like, I felt like I had a duty to the band.